Aliens exist and President Trump knows about it. That's according to Israel's former space security chief. In an interview with an Israeli newspaper, he said the aliens have been waiting until today for humanity to develop and reach a stage where we will understand in general what space and spaceships are. NBC News chief global correspondent Bill Neely explains this one.
Hi, Alison. Well, this is quite a story, and it comes from the man who headed Israel's space security program for nearly 30 years. Chaim Eshed is making the extraordinary claim that the United States and Israel have been in contact with a group of aliens for years, not immigrants, but extraterrestrials. He has called them the Galactic Federation of Aliens, and he says President Trump is aware of the existence of these aliens and had been on the verge of revealing their secrets, he claims, but was asked not to do so by the Federation in order to prevent what he calls mass hysteria. Well, the retired general said the US and Israel have kept it from the public because, quotes, humanity isn't ready and the aliens don't want to reveal themselves until humanity can evolve, he says, and understand what space really is. The good news is that he claims an agreement has been reached between the US government and the aliens, a contract to do experiments here. There's also, he says, a secret underground base on Mars where there are American and alien representatives.
Aliens exist and President Trump knows about.
All right, Shalom. First of all, I want to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakakadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutation to all the brothers and the few sisters out there. Also, like foreigners from the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Shalom in the Hebrew, which means peace. In case people don't know, this is what they call their final card. Now, I'm just not going to make that statement. So always reference to certain things that these people, the ability that they have. Now, what you see on the screen right here, this was an actual card game. It was called the Illuminati card game. This came out in 1996. But a lot of it, a lot of these cards were foretelling of the future accidentally. And I remember this particular one right here. So if you peep game, so the one right beside it, there's a reason I let these two. The one right beside it is called Conspiracy Theorists. And the Conspiracy Theorists right here, which there's another picture here, sorry. Kind of look like a Glenn Beck type thing. Well, Glenn Beck used to be on Fox and everything like that. So what is this? What is this card foretelling? What does this have to do with anything? Oh, 95, sorry. I keep forgetting. This is events that's going to take place where the people that's in power are controlling it. The reason why you have the conspiracy theorists because you have a lot of whistleblowers that work for the same people that they blowing the whistle on. All right, which is this is realistic. This is not far fetched. So you have that card, and let me see if they have the other one. Okay, and there's another card that's circulating. The card looks exactly like the current president, and the slogan in that card says "Enough is enough." So that's two. There's another card. It says "Plague of Demons." Let me see if I can find that one real quick. I have to really, every time it pops in my spirit. This one right here, enough is enough. Accident, coincidence, no. This man wasn't even thought of, so in the outside, thought of to be a president. So that's one thing, right? Let's see if I can find the other one. You have to really, really look forward to that. And it's not going to be here, obviously not, because right, game, Plague of Demons. right here. And what do you have here? You have a whole bunch of demons, and where they at? But in Washington, Capitol Hill. Right. So you see the pattern? So now all of a sudden they want to talk about aliens, how they've been dealing with aliens, and the two countries out of all the countries in the planet Earth that's dealing with these particular beings from another planet or is Israel and America. If y'all don't see the setup, I don't know what to tell you. Now you had the Three Eye Atlas, where they made a big stink of, and they don't talk about it much anymore. This is ill right here too. I'm looking at some crackdown. Well, guess what? Guess what? The crackdown is happening. The crackdown on crime is happening. They're kicking people's doors down and making people disappear. So all of a sudden, beings from another planet, another plane, wants to decide to deal with these assholes, these nick and poops, and help them guide them to Earth. If y'all don't see the play, I don't know what to tell you. Now, there's been a lot of historical facts of people um, dealing with. I'll just say straight up. They tell you straight up. They're demons. All right. Demons have ships too. They got devices too. All right. At the end of the day, all of them are the sons of Yahweh. Okay. To put our mind at ease while we're seeing the games that the elites are playing, that we knew these things long ago. It's part of our cult. It's part of everything. Because when the Lord dealt with Israel, so you Negros, Latinos, and Native Americans. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get that one real quick. I'm gonna lead into it. Real quick. Deuteronomy. Right. Deuteronomy 33 and 2. And he said, the Lord came from Sinai and rose up from Seir. Unto them he shined forth from Mount Paran. And he came with 10,000s of saints from his right hand and went a fiery law from them. So the 10,000s of saints, we're talking about the chariots, the angels. Deuteronomy 32 and 1. Give ear, O heavens, and I will speak, and hear, O earth, the words of my mouth. My doctrine shall drop as the rain, my speech shall distill as the dew, as a small rain upon the tender herb, as the showers upon the grass. Meaning what? The Lord's word is going to revive us, which it has revived us. All right. If you see a plant and it's not fully on death's door, so to speak, certain plants just lean like they're dying. And then when you give it just a little drop of water, all of a sudden they peak back to life. So this is what the word do for us. So when we hear these things, when we see certain things, we must be grounded in this word. This is why the Lord said this in Jeremiah 10 and 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord has spoke unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed of the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. Why were we not supposed to be dismayed? Dismayed meaning discouraged, be harmed. Because the Lord gave us everything. All right? I was supposed to go to Deuteronomy 4. You know what? Let me go back to Deuteronomy. So what we see in the heavens, we're not supposed to be dismayed or like, oh, Why? Because it was a part. We seen these things. We know, all right. The pillar um by day and the fiery light by night. That was part of our history. Hold on for a second. Yo, can you be quiet? So Slovakia. All right. So that was a part of our history. That's a part of Hebrew Israelite 101. Ain't no strange beings. It was the angels of the Lord. All right. Deuteronomy 4, 4 and 5. Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments, even as the Lord my power hath commanded me, that you should do them, that you should do so in the land whither you go to possess. Keep therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom, your understanding in the sight of the nations. This is why we're not supposed to be dismayed. We're supposed to know what goes on in the heaven. We know when we see chariots, those are the chariots of the Lord. All right. Even when our Lord was born, that was an actual chariot what the wise men saw. And the chariot guided the wise men to the Lord. All right. The chariots are what they call the word called UFOs. So it says, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is wise and understanding people. So our job was to be wise and understanding of what? All everything. This is what was it? Let me see if I can get it. No, it's a 32, right? So like it's something in my mind. It's something I want to bring up or goes away. Hey, this is why it's when the spirit is on you to do something, just do it. Because it could flee from you. You know? You gotta kind of fight. Like, no, what like what you were saying. You know, let me see. It might not be 32. Was it 33? Let me see if I could go to heaven. Deuteronomy. Right. It's 30? Deuteronomy 30 and start at 10. If thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy power to keep his commandments and his statutes which are written in the book of the law, if thou turn unto the Lord thy power with all thine heart and all thy soul, for this commandment which I command thee this day is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven that thou shalt say, that shouldst say, who shall go up for us to heaven? And why would that be there? Because the Lord knew that the heathens would be dismayed. All right? Like you're gonna go far beyond. So what they're trying to say to show you, I read it the other day. What Sirach, real quick. Sirach 19. Is it 22 or was it 23? Man, let me try. 23. There is a wickedness and the same an abomination, and there is a fool wanting in wisdom. So who's a fool wanting in wisdom? Esau. All right. So Esau got to go far out, worlds beyond. He has to open another portal, CERN, to find the secret of life. I'm not joking. I'm being that serious. You know, I may be laughing about it because it's the way I said it, but they have to go far and beyond to find simple, basic stuff. right? Verse 24, he that have small understanding and feareth the Most High. This is the key. It's all about the fear of the Lord. So we have a race of people that does not fear the Lord, period. So why would the Lord, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, will allow a people that don't fear him at all and give him all this knowledge? It's better than one that have much wisdom and transgresseth the law of the Most High. So always go back to the laws of the Most High, right? So going back to here, Deuteronomy 30 and 12, it is not in heaven that thou shalt say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. So you don't have to go far, all right? It says, neither is it beyond the sea that thou shouldst say, who shall go over to the sea for us, which is an odyssey, which is an adventure. All right, who's gonna go to the other side? I heard it at I don't know, somewhere in India they have the like movie Doctor Strange. If you seen movie Doctor Strange, you know I'm getting at. He had to go. I forgot the damn name of the place. Kuna Mata, whatever. It was something to that. Something a funny place that probably doesn't exist. Probably does exist, but he had to go far beyond to find the healing to help him with his damaged nerve system of his hands. So he had to go all the way over there. He had to spend all countless money to find this monk place to get, and then he became who he became. Well, guess what? This truth, this knowledge, this strength, this power that we have, we don't have to do all that. Period. All right, and bring it unto us that we may hear it and do it. But the word is very nigh unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it. So what it means is nigh unto is easy, accessible. We have the zeal of the Lord. All right. All the answers to all we need is in this book. We don't have to go beyond. We don't have to go to space and beyond for the basic stuff. In order to get to that dimension, to go to that, we need to be perfected. All right. Esau is trying to um, reach to that perfection. So the deal that they're talking about, the deal what they made a deal with the devil, which they are the sons of the devil. All right. That's what they're telling you, and they're using this. Why? Because they're trying to fool the world, right? The technology that they have wasn't granted them um, easily. No, they had demons. They had demons telling them what to do, how to do this. Where do you think they got this idea of CERN? CERN is nothing new. You had um, other cultures, religion, whatever you want to call it. They've been trying to open. They've been figuring out how to do these things. All right. All these other nations are into witchcraft. What do you think the witchcraft is about? All right, is tapping into another side of the Most High. That's why before I go back to me go to Deuteronomy 18. It says Deuteronomy 18 and 9. When thou art come into the land which the Lord thy power given thee, thou shalt not learn to do after the abominations of those nations. Thou shalt not be found among you any that maketh his son or his daughter to pass through the fire, or to useth divination, or to observe time, or enchanter, or a witch. And this is what the other nations were doing. The land of Israel is spiritual high zone. All right. There's a lot of spiritual activity that dwells there. Why? Because that's the eye of the Lord. That's the Lord's pleasant land. All right. I'm not gonna get it, but when you go to Deuteronomy, or not Deuteronomy, Genesis, when we talk about Jacob's ladder, right? And it was open. Why was it called Jacob's ladder? Because He's seen spirits coming back and up and down from the heavens. All right, the sons of the Most High coming, always coming down. So whoever controls it, that's what they think. Whoever controls that land will access to that power. That's how these. This is how these people think. So the people before the true Israelites took the land, the heathens at that time, they was trying to tap in to that power, and the Lord allowed these things. He allowed them to be lost, right? And when it was what they were doing wasn't conducive to that land. Okay, so these rituals, these things that we see in the science and all this other shit, like the movie, was it Avengers, right? First Avengers, and the character Thor told Tony Stark or Captain America, "What you call science? No. It was Thor's movie. So what you call science is what we call magic, right? And we know the word science when you read Timothy's, it means knowledge. That's all science means, knowledge. But the science of today is pseudoscience. So this is the false science that they believe in, and they believe in magic spells. They believe in all this. This is why, which Isaiah 47 goes into, right? But let me go back to my point with this real quick. It says, "For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord, and because of these abominations, the Lord thy power drive them out from before thee." So they had no power because they could not resist. That wasn't um it wasn't meant, well, it was meant for them to do it, but they wasn't meant to be in the land. So the Lord had to displace them. Thou shalt be perfect with the Lord thy power, for the nations which thou shalt possess hearken unto observer of times, unto the diviners. But as for thee, the Lord thy power have not suffered thee so to do. So the Lord gave these nations up to these weird doctrines, worshiping the moon, the stars, the quasars, all right, animals, the phallic symbols, the penises, the vagina, the breasts. That's what they all will worship. I was watching something live. I think it was Eon. What is it's called? I believe it's called. It's based on India, and they had a news clip on a cow. The cow took something and it was scratching his back with it, and they made it like not a big deal, but they said, yeah, the science said, you know, cows they're so intelligent. And I was laughing about it. I was laughing to myself, of course, and like now they're gonna go worship. But if you understand Elam, they were automatically worship cows. So the Lord allowed these other nations to be taken. All right. Now bring this up too. You had I don't want to make this too long. Oh, whatever. The Spurs on me. What's his name? Is it Albert Pike? No, Alistair Crowley. And he had a demon that came up to him, and the demon looked a certain way. Let me see if I can find it. Uh, I'm spelling it. Crowley. I'm just trying to work around it. Oh, that. All right. There's Alistair Crowley. Right. He just looked like a pure demon, and he's also related. A couple of people related to him that was in prominent position in society. There you go. And that what you see, ladies and gentlemen, is what came to Alistair Crowley. All right. What does he look like? This is a demon that came to him. Call it, I think it's Nawas, yeah. Awas, whatever. It looks like a gray. They will consider a gray. So the Lord sent, this is how this man came out of the cave and is able to have this ability, because the Lord allowed these demons to come to manifest towards these people and to give them the knowledge of what they need to advance what they have. But for us, he did not do that. So, all right, they lost Alistair Crowley, the beast in Berlin, and he's a heavy witch. Okay, so the Lord allowed these demons, these people, to be lost. Yeah, and there's a lot of our people that's into a whole bunch of madness too. I already know. All right, they're into all sorts of madness. That's why 2/3 is going to be destroyed. When we go back to this, we hit the point with this one real quick. And it says, for these nations, back in Deuteronomy 18 and 14, for these nations which that possess and hearken unto observers of time and unto diviners, but as for thee, the Lord thy power have not suffered thee to do so, the Lord thy power will raise up unto thee a prophet from the midst of thee, of thy brethren like unto me, and him ye shall hearken. And that prophet was talking about who? Yahweh Shai. All right. So Yahweh Shai was made for us. We was made for him. All right. So for us to get the truth, how to please the Lord. So as Esau and his cohort is trying their best to get this knowledge to cheat death, to listen to these um deities, these spirits, these demons, and to guide them and remain lost. So now they want to play the card. They want to play the alien card. And it was already was it last week? There's so much news that goes on. I believe it was last week. They said in London, expect the bankers to shut down for uh alien um reveal. Okay, so now they want to reveal that aliens existed, or they're gonna use Project Bluebeam or whatever, prove that the aliens, which they call aliens, is coming to help humanity, right? Which goes into this Matthew 24. Um, Matthew 24 and 24. Yep. For there shall arise false anointeds and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, and so much, if it were possible, they should they shall deceive the very elect. So it's impossible for them to deceive the very elect of the Lord. Here's another reason. Let me see if I can remember. It's in Galatians. And just type it in. Um, Galatians 1:8. We go 1:7. Which is not another. Matter of fact, let me go 6. I marvel that ye are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Yahweh Shai unto another gospel. This is what Paul was going through with the Galatians, right? Which is not another, but there be some that trouble you and would pervert the gospel of Yahweh Shai. So he was talking about amongst Israelites. There was some Israelites that was going out there and teaching things that they ought not to teach. So he was like, I'm shocked. Like, I told you everything you need to be taught, and you still not fortified in your faith. All right. But here's the kicker. Here's the thing. Verse 8. But though but 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 through sorry, but though we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you, then that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. Why would Paul say that for? All right? Because you will have demons that will come in to test you to see where your faith is at. So we come in a time where a great deception is going to be played out. So if it's not according to what the Lord said, how he was going to return, let that be a curse unto them. All right? If they come and tell you, oh, yeah, this is all a lie. This is all a deception. Okay? And the scripture says what I haven't read that in a while. 2 Corinthians 11:14. It says, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. So Satan himself can transform it because his power is what? To deceive. All right? His power is to deceive. We're not supposed to fall for none of these tricks. All right? Uh, Ephesians 6:10. It tells you. 6:12. Okay? It says, therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works, which is what? Their destruction. So there is still the power of great deception that's being played. People are being fed certain things, they're being led to certain things right now. Okay, Esau, he has only one couple of things under his sleeve, and that alien card is one of the main things that he have under his sleeve, and we're not supposed to fall for that. If they come and tell you this, that, to the third, hey, let it be a curse unto them, because what we was taught through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, the Lord is not coming back for all humanity. Yahushua is coming back to destroy. He's not. Matter of fact, he ended over here. It was Isaiah 47. I could start at 3. The whole chapter is bad. I start at 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Virgin daughter, because why? America never got penetrated, right? Never got attacked, right? Is the daughter of Babylon. Is the daughter of a prior kingdom. Okay? It says, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldees. The Chaldees were the Magi's, the illuminated ones of their time. All right? It's a very important thing people understand. The Chaldees were into witchcraft, astrology, casting spells, sorcery, enchantments, all that. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate, because it presented itself as something that was good for humanity. Needed. All right. The greatest place in the planet Earth. Sounds familiar? It says, take the millstones and grind mill, uncover the locks, which is what? All the dirt, all the things that's day by day we're coming to realize the lies that America conduct themselves into. You have one of the main things that's happened right now. They removed uh, a plaque in Philadelphia of slavery. So why they removing that? Because that's part of is dirty America's dirt. All right. It says, "Make bare thy leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the river. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen." So the world see the shame of America and is trying to rewrite history. That's what's happening right now. History is being rewritten because they're trying to paint themselves as good people. But all they're doing is just lying on themselves because the Lord has everything recorded. You have the angels of the Lord, Proverbs 15:3. The eyes of the Lord is in everything, every place. Amos 9:8. The eyes of the Lord is upon the sinful kingdom. All right, and He should destroy from the face of the earth. So everything is recorded. So to show you that this devil is trying his best to cover up his sin, it says, "Thy shame shall be seen, and I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." So when the Howard Shai comes back, we already know the premise. I guess this is the reason why we always gotta tell over and over how the Lord's gonna come back. All right, it's not gonna be a thing where only the leaders of the free world or whatever is gonna be in a room with the Lord. No, the world's gonna see, and niggas gonna mourn. Okay, it's gonna be a dramatic thing. It's gonna be, and when it happens, it's gonna be in the hottest point. We all gonna be in a run or in a concentration camp or wherever, and the dead shall be coming back to life. So for what? To see the coming of the Lord. So we really got the blueprint how Yahweh Shai is coming back. So if they come up to say, oh, like the 3-eye atlas and this, that to the third, and these are the aliens, and they're dealing with us and Israel only. Those are demons that's using demons, and that's all part of the deception. It says, as for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, which is the Lord of armies. All right. So the Lord is not coming back with him by himself. He's coming back with the greatest army ever existed under his command by his top angel, which is Michael. It says, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Sit thou silent and get thee in darkness, O daughter of the Chaldees. And why said the great get thee in darkness? Because the term illuminated, all right? They believe in their heart that they were given the keys to everything. They was taught everything. This is how they was able to cast a spell on everybody. All right. This is why I don't know how true that thing is, but we know that that's a card that they're willing to play. So out of all people on the planet Earth, the heavens, people from the heavens wants to talk to you and deal with you. All right. It says, O daughter of the Chaldees, but thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. I was wrathful for my people, which is the Lord's people, you Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All what happened to us, the Lord was wrathful for us. He allowed these things to happen to us and given them into thy hand. So it was, if it wasn't for the Lord, the so-called black man would never be enslaved servitude to the white man, so-called white man. Native Americans would never. Native Americans, what they call the Hispanics, would never be in it because we're stronger, we're better. There was an act of God for take a no people, a nobody, and have them rule over us. But what they did when they had that rule over us, they made us cattle slave, worse than slave, 3/5 of man. All right, so the Lord's like, look, I polluted my heritage. I allowed my people to be moles and all this other nonsense. But you made it worse. You made it worse. It's I've given them into their hand, and that has showed them no mercy. And to this day, this man don't show us no mercy. Where you have the city of Atlanta, I'm bringing this up, that they said that they dropped a gay bomb on those people. Those people didn't have a fucking chance. All right, they brought out the worst out of Jake. You promote the worst behavior from Jake. So Jake, you rule over the Lord's people. You rule. So they're gonna follow what the rulers say or do. It says, upon the ancient has that thou very heavily laid thy yoke, which is the old men. There was no mercy to the old and the young. All right, with this countless historical facts of what you did. There was Will Smith played a famous person, which Trump he took it out. He took it out of history, right? Slave back scars. This man right here, Peter, formerly known, identified as Gordon. So this is no longer a thing where people was going to recognize. And this was an old man. This is the history, the track. Oh, let me see. The others don't look correct. But that's the track of what you have done. You show no mercy. All right. Let me see something. Go to yoke of iron. Wow, that's the spirit. Because I did it. Old man. No, I don't have to do old man. I just yoke of iron. There's a yoke right there. And this is the famous yoke right here. This is in history. So the Lord knows exactly what you've been doing. Let me hurry up and finish this off. It said, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst thou remember the latter end of it. Because what? Exodus 21:16. He that stealeth a man and selleth him shall surely be put to death. Y'all didn't put that in your mind. Y'all want to erase it. All right? Y'all don't even want to talk about it. You're trying to erase it from everybody's mind. But it's not erasing the Lord's mind. It says, therefore, so because of these things that you did, therefore, now this that thou art given unto pleasures, and that dwellest carelessly, and that sayest in thy heart, I am and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. So, meaning what? America will never go down. You had what's this guy's name? Stephen Miller talking a lot of buku shit about the strength, the might of America, right? You're talking a lot of shit of lately. So keep that in mind. Keep that same energy. Like you're never gonna lose. You're the most mightiest nation on the planet Earth. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in a day, in one day. The loss of children and widowhood. With the children is whom? Your military, right? And widowhood without a husband, right? And they shall come upon thee in the perfection for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thy enchantments. What is the real source of America? Is not the strength of his might, is the power of the witchcraft that it provokes to the world. And since it's dwindling the way it is, they have to use their last bit of power that they have. And on top of all that, they coming down as a dragon. It's coming down with wrath. All right. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, that has said, none seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge have perverted thee, and I said in thy heart, I am, and none else beside me. So this is the attitude that they have. This is why they mention those two nations, because that land, the scripture says, the least of the flock shall draw them out. Draw them to where? Where they're surrounding right now, Iran. Which once they get into Iran, there's going to be a chain reaction that's going to take place, because simultaneously they're going to try to chip everybody. All right. And top of that, they're going to Jacob's trouble. So all these things that are happening is going to all lead to their demise. So with that being said, shalom to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom.